Question is how far should I go? And in general, it seems like all I've ever heard from people is you should go until it looks good. I mean, how far do I drag this saturation slider? And so this is my greatest contribution to photography. You guys ready? Should be a little bit excited here. And so I've figured out exactly how far, and I'm trying to come up with the right name, and I would have to say this is, oh, I had a name for a while of it. Let me see if I can come up with it again. I forget what I'm going to call this. We'll have to come up with a good name for it. But it's kind of a rule of thumb of how far to go on your images. And so this is how far you go. You want to go 1/3 of too far. All right? 1/3 of too far. So this is how it works. There's a number of different ways that we can control the overall look to our image. So one of the options is what's called clarity. And what it does is it adjusts the mid-tone contrast. And it makes images look a little sharper in many cases. And sometimes it gives them a little more texture. So if we take that image and we take the clarity slider and we slide it over and we keep going and going and going, and I know it's kind of hard to see on this one. This is the toughest one to see. But we've reached this really crunchy, weird area where if you saw it with your own eyes, you would go like, whoa, okay, that's way too far. You have gone too far. What you do is you remember that number and you come back and you slide it 1/3 too far. So 1/3 of 50 is around 17, okay? And it seems to work pretty good. Let's try it with another image and another setting. Okay, let's work with saturation. We got some nice colorful chalks here. This is a straight raw image, no adjustments. No adjustments at this point, but let's take that saturation. Let's ratchet it up until we've gone, okay, yeah, you've clearly gone too far. You've definitely gone too far. Let's back it off. 1/3 of 60 puts us at around 20. Take this one up to 20, and we're just adding a nice hint of it. And it seems to be a pretty good balance. You know, I was going to say 25 to 50% of too far, but I think 1/3 of too far sounds a lot better. Let's try this once more. Original image, we're going to work with vibrance in this case. We take vibrance and we move it off to the right-hand side, and we get to a point where that sky is just out of this world blue. We have clearly gone too far. And then we come back and we just adjust it back to about 30. And so part of this is go too far. Okay, yep, that's it. Okay, clearly gone too far. Go back to 0 to kind of check where it started, and then go back up to around 25% to 50%. That 30% tends to be a pretty good place. And if you're experienced and you know what you're doing, you'll be like, this is the stupidest thing in the world. I know exactly where I want to go. Well, with experience, yes, you do. If you really are knowledgeable and you know exactly where your colors need to be, you don't need this. But for people who are getting started and they're like, how much sharpness should I have? How much saturation should I add? Well, if you have gone too far, you're not supposed to be there. Now, I do realize this isn't completely logical because, well, if 30 is exactly as far as you go, isn't 31 too far? Well, technically, yes, but it's when you have clearly gone too far and it's just obviously wrong. And the idea is that you don't want people to look at your images and go, wow, what is wrong with that person? And about 30% back, you can add a little hint of it to where they don't even know what you did to the image, all right? It's just a little flavoring for it. So, how far should you go? It's very simple. Go 1/3 of too far. Now, as I said, I Googled this image, I Binged it, nobody has used it, so I have gone in and I have copyrighted it, I have trademarked it, I've registered the trademark, I put a patent pending on it right now under my umbrella corporation, so if you use this, say it, you have to credit me in the use of it. Is that agreed?
By watching this workshop, you enter into a binding contract.
Thank you, Russ.
And so, sorry, everyone.
So that's my greatest original contribution to photography.